Let's get on with the list, and oh my god, it was some bangers. I mean, it was a huge week for manga sales on eBay. Basically, the top collection went for over $1,600. The top single only went for 300, but the number 10 went for 140. So there was like solid sales all through the list. For those of you new to the channel, basically what I'm doing, I'm just going through the eBay sold listings for the past week, and I'm just putting them all in the spreadsheet, organize them, and we're looking for high sales. And again, high sales doesn't mean that they're the best manga, it just means that they're very hard to find. So let's get started with collections. First, I'm going to do 5 honorable mentions for collections. And honorable mention number 1, and let's start again with the one that got away. It's Boys Over Flowers, volumes 1 through 37, so the complete collection plus the art book. 38 books, was listed at $1,099.99. Best offer accepted. But you know what? I don't feel too bad, because even if it had have went for full price, it still would have only been the number 3 collection this week. That's how good of a week we've had. Honorable mention number 2. Now, I usually don't list like really low-priced collections, but I had to do this one. This is For the Kid I Saw in My Dreams, volumes 1 through 10. Only went for $70.69, but it also had 48 bids, which means it probably started off at a very low asking price, but just the fact that this series had 48 bids shows a lot of interest. Honorable mention number 3 is one I never see sell. And not so much the manga, but these are the light novels. And not just light novels, but the full run. So this is Vampire Hunter D, volumes 1 through 29, $406.29. That's just over $14 a piece. Number 4 for my honorable mentions is one that kind of surprised me by how much it went for. This is Maid Sama, volumes 1 through 18. These are the 2-in-1 editions, so there's only 9 books. $499.99. That's like $55.55 per book. And my final honorable mention, when I started this channel 7 months ago, or almost 8 months ago now, I guess, one that I'd always heard was, one of the most valuable series, and it is a valuable series, but it is far from the most valuable series. Red River, volumes 1 through 28, went for $648.53. That's like $23.16 per book. Alright, let's get into the collections. We'll start with collection number 5, and it's only 12 books. It's Karakuri Doji Ultimo, volumes 1 through 12, went for $699.99. That's like $58.33 per book. Viz Media, 2010. Important to note that this one was written by Stan Lee. Number 4. Again, we've seen this one before, but I have to wonder if the fact that these are sealed boosted up the value. It's Sekirai, volumes 1 through 10. They're all sealed, so 10 books, $750. That's $75 per book. Yen Press, 2017. Collection number 3, no stranger to the list. Every time it sells a complete collection, it usually goes for some pretty serious money. This is Initial D, volumes 1 through 33. Went for $799. That's over $24 per book. Tokyo Pop, 2002. Collection number 2, when I first saw this one, I was sure it would be the number 1 collection of the week. It's one that always goes for big bucks when it's the full run. It's Air Gear. Went for $1,198.52. That's $31.54 per book. Originally published by Del Rey and then later Kodansha. First published in 2006. So what did Air Gear lose out to? It's back, baby! Number 1, Umineko. Volumes 1 through 21. $1,664.62. That's over $79 American per book. Yen Press, 2012. What was interesting to me this week was that the top 2 collections were basically from Australia. I'm not going to get into politics on this channel, but I'll leave it up to you to do your own research, draw your own conclusions, and it could simply be a coincidence, but it's interesting. Anyways, here we go with the individual volumes, the singles as I like to call them, and as usual, I'll start with, the one that got away. This is honorable mention number 1. It's Triage X, Volume 5, originally priced at $169.99, best offer accepted. But the thing is, like, even if that had went for full price, it would have been tied for number 7. So that's why I'm not too upset about this. Honorable mention number 2 is I No Kasubi, Volume 3, $49.99, which is a good price for a light novel or novel, but not exceptional. So why am I listing this? Well, the thing about I No Kasubi that you have to understand is it's basically 8 novels. 6 starts to get pretty expensive. 7 is ridiculous. And the final volume, Volume 8, is one of the most expensive light novels in the world. So I thought I'd point that out. Anyway, let's get on to honorable mention number 3. It's the Complete Cowboy Bebop Omnibus. I went for $100. I didn't even know there was a Complete Cowboy Bebop Omnibus. So speaking of omnibuses, honorable mention number 4, Air Gear, Volume 2, the Omnibus Edition, $124. And my final honorable mention didn't quite make the list. I think on any other week it probably would have been in there, no problem. It's Trigun Maximum, Volume 14. That's the final volume of the Trigun Maximum run, $135. I also wanted to bring up that you can now pre-order the new collected editions of Trigun on Amazon. Here we go with the top 10. Number 10. Haven't seen this one for a while. It's Vagabond, Volume 37. Went for $140, and that's Viz Media 2015. But the thing about Vagabond 37, a lot of times you can find it cheaper. This week, one went for $54.99 as well. So it's one of those ones where it just depends on how many are listed at any particular time. We have a tie for number 9. And the first one is no stranger to the list. It's One Piece Gold Foil Edition, Volume 1. The first printing went for $150. That's Viz Media 2003. Now, the thing about these gold foil editions, especially this Volume 1, first printings matter. What it's tied with at number 9 is Oh My Goddess Omnibus Volume 5, also went for $150. And that's Dark Horse 2016. Number 8, remember my honorable mention of the one that got away of Triage X Volume 5? Well, this is the one that came before it. Triage X Volume 4, $160, Yen Press 2013. Number 7, I've spoken about Ultimate Muscle before, I think in one of those ones that always sell for money but never quite make the list. Well, this one made the list. Ultimate Muscle, the Kinnikuman Legacy Volume 17. $169.99, Viz Media 2007. Number 6 is one of those ones that it's basically collector's buy, right? So they're looking for it probably to gain value over time. It's Steins Gate, the complete edition, the Barnes & Noble exclusive, and this is sealed, went for $174.99, and that's from Udon Entertainment 2021. Number 5, we've seen it before, and it's proved to be probably the most valuable volume of the run. It's Exolic, the Omnibus Edition, Volume 4, $185. Kodansha Comics 2014. Number 4 is a newcomer to the list, and again, it's a very old series, not as old as Astro Boy, of course, but it's one of the older ones. It's Please Save My Earth, Volume 7, $197. Viz Media 2004. Number 3, we had the collection up there. This is the final volume of the run. It's Karukuridoji Ultimo, Volume 12, $250. Viz Media 2016. And at number 2, almost made number 1, and this one honestly surprised me, and I'll probably give it the thumbnail. Please Save My Earth, Volume 13, $297. Viz Media 2005. It's important to note that not all of these Please Save My Earth are worth extraordinary amounts of money. And finally, at number 1, again, it was up there on the collections, Air Gear, Volume 34, went for $400 Canadian, which is about $300 American. Kodansha Comics 2016. And I just wanted to say how much I adore this cover. Like, oh great, he's one of those artists that are going to be collected for years to come just because of how amazing his art really is. So I'll post the spreadsheets. We'll start with collections as usual. Amazing week for collections. The fact that they basically started at 700 and went to 1,665. That's amazing. Like, it's so rare to break $1,000 for a collection, and we literally had 2 collections do that this week. Okay, let's get into the singles. Here's the spreadsheet. I think the ones that really surprised me this week were those 2 Please Save My Earth, Volume 7 and Volume 13. I had no idea those 2 could prove to be so valuable. Finally, there was one thing I wanted to talk about, and if you haven't seen Mushoku Tensei or Jobless Reincarnation, feel free to stop the video and move on because there will be spoilers, but I'm a huge fan of Mushoku Tensei, and I honestly believe it's probably one of the best anime being put out currently by far. There's a scene in the latest one, basically with Rudius with Sarah, and anybody who's seen it will know what I'm talking about, but it gave Rudius such depth. You know, like, the poor guy, especially in his past life, has been through so much. It made him a much more compelling character for me. It was really nice to see sort of the mental health aspect of the character development as well, and the fact that he has suffered so greatly in his past life, and the thing with Eris basically tore him apart. Now, to be fair to Eris, I mean, she went through a whole lot of trauma as well, because they finally made it back to her home, and she found out not only was her grandfather murdered, but her mother and her father are also dead now too. So that was a lot of trauma. It's funny, it's like the isekai, but it's now become like a much deeper isekai, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, wow. And those who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Those who haven't, hey, why do you let yourself listen to spoilers here? Anyway, I think it's a very well done anime. Very curious about the light novels now. But I gotta get through Overlord first, so that's the thing. Anyways, thanks again for watching, everybody, and we'll talk with you next week. Bye-bye.